Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's live stream for studentloanjustice.org. Going to keep it relatively short tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's cold here in Wisconsin. Hope everything's going well wherever you may be. I hope that you all were able to see the documentary last night on MSNBC. It's currently on Peacock, by the way, so if you missed it, you can still see it. It's called Lone Wolves, Loan Wolves. Hopefully, you noticed what I noticed about the film, which is that it is and was and still is, and right now you can see it on Peacock, perfectly positioned for us to finally get the constitutionally enshrined right, however unpleasant it may be, of bankruptcy returned to student loans. We've been doing this for 18 years, ladies and gentlemen, and I can tell you that the absence of bankruptcy lies at the core of nearly everything that is evil and bad about student loans and probably your student loan situation. It is the absence of this very important right, the unique absence, the unique stripping of this right that has caused all manner of abuse and hyperinflation and so many other terrible things where we are essentially defenseless against this lending tyranny. I hope you understand that after having watched the film. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. And when we get the right returned, very few people should have to file. It's just having the leverage of bankruptcy returned to us that will make student loans at least as fair as all other loans in the country. And that's very important. And again, I say it every night and I'll say it again. We will not see anything good from the Biden administration or probably from any other president unless and until we get bankruptcy returned. Whether or never you would ever file is not important, guys. It's just getting the leverage back. So I'm thrilled that this film came out when it did. I wish it would have been maybe a week before today, but it is what it is. So I'm getting great reports. As you know, we are gung-ho, balls out from now until the end of this congressional session, guys. And frankly, for all intents and purposes, the two key dates are this coming Thursday, after which the House will go home for the holidays unless they extend their working session, which could happen. And December 21st, which is the last working session day for the Senate. So, and I hate to even pick between the two, but right now the House is the most important. And if you go to our website, you will see that we are telling everybody first to call Jerry Nadler in the House. Third, David Cicilline in the House. These are two House representatives. Jerry Nadler is the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. He is also the author and prime sponsor of HR 9110. Guys, these bills are absolutely not going to pass without our pressure. So I'm thrilled. Today I got reports that the Senate phone lines were busy or down all day long. I think much of that is because of us. I think probably almost all of it is because of us. And that's good. But guys, I'm telling you, we have to double, triple down even harder going forward. So I hope you're pleased, and I'm happy to read your comments aloud if you have any thoughts about what's going on. Any thoughts about the film? I thought it was an excellent film, by the way. I thought Blake did a masterful job of packing some what otherwise most people would think is pretty dry material into a very easy to digest, a watchable format. Even if I did have to play the fool a little bit in some of those scenes, but that's fine. I can take it. So yeah, I'm just going to jump straight into your comments, guys. Everything, this is the white hot climax of this battle that we've been engaged in, arguably for 18 years, but certainly over the past 2.5 years. And by the way, I hope that you all, no matter what happens, I hope that you are very happy with how far we managed to get, both on getting bankruptcy returned, but on getting student loans canceled as well. You know, that whole student loan cancellation thing by executive order, which is the top of the news right now, that all started with us. It was our initial article interview with Vice News in July 2019 that launched the concept into the zeitgeist. It was our petition starting in March 2020, right as COVID was rolling in, that started the whole conversation about canceling student loans by executive order. And here, lo and behold, tonight, while I'm sitting here, we now have a sitting president who has announced a student loan cancellation by executive order. So everyone on this group who worked so hard deserves a huge amount of credit and approbation, I think is the word, for making that happen. So, but nonetheless, let's not, we're not putting on the rose-colored glasses, guys. Biden's loan cancellation is a fake, tricky gimmick. It was never meant to be anything. And lo and behold, now here we see it's tied up in the courts, and it may never ever be anything. And even if they win those court cases, guys, Biden and the Department of Education never wanted to cancel loans, and they still don't. They were only drawn to loan cancellation, kicking and screaming, and only launched their lame little feckless, tricky, ambiguous loan cancellation gimmick in the days, weeks maybe before the midterm elections. So it was just a vote getting ploy in the first place. But nevertheless, guys, that's something. And I hope that you all can appreciate how hard we on this group worked to make that happen, and how hard we on this group continue to work for the real battle. And the real battle is getting bankruptcy rights back. I kid you not. If I was given a choice between some bullshit loan cancellation like we heard Biden come up with and getting bankruptcy restored to the loans, I'd choose bankruptcy hands down in like that. No question. Now remember, guys, I'm a defaulted student loan borrower, just like probably way more than half the people on this group. The only difference is I live and breathe this nonsense. So take that to heart, guys. You have no idea how important bankruptcy is, or maybe you do. Maybe after watching the film last night, maybe you have a little better of an inkling. But anyways, I couldn't be gladder to see that film finally come out. The reviews that I'm seeing are just spectacular. The the response that I'm seeing, just emails from random anonymous people and stuff like that, are all almost universally, in fact, they're all universally good. You know, often when we go on like Fox News or something, I'll get a ton of hate emails from conservatives. But I've gotten emails, and I've seen on Twitter notes from conservatives who agree with us. And that is really saying something, guys. That goes a long ways towards proving how effective this group right here has been over the past few years at changing the entire zeitgeist around this issue. So to everybody on this group who have been with us for 2, 3, 4, 10, 15 years now, I salute all of you, all the people out there who have been doing the very thankless and sort of drudgery work day in, day out on this issue. And you know who you are. I could mention your names, but we'd be here all night. Literally thousands of people at this point. But so, okay, guys, I am looking now for your comments. But any thoughts you might have on how you thought the film was, and maybe any other sit rep information you may have to share about your experiences calling your members of Congress and stuff. If you forget everything I say tonight, guys, go to our website, studentloanjustice.org. And at the very top of the site, there's like 4 or 5 very simple actions that we need absolutely everybody to take. Everybody. everybody with student loans, quite frankly, but we'll take everybody in our group. That's over 1.2 million people at this point. This is it, guys. This is your battle, and the battle is not over. In fact, the battle is at the climax right now. So, as Ed McKinley says, let's finish the job now. Well, amen to that. We've been doing this for too long, guys. I'm ready to be done. Are you not ready to be done? Are you not ready for actual student loan justice after however many years that you've been battling this beast? Many of you are thinking that you were alone when in fact the opposite was true. 85% of all borrowers, I can't remember if they mentioned this in the film or not, 85% of all borrowers were underwater on their loans even before the pandemic. So you and me, all the stress that we're going through, many people suffering in silence, we are the large, if I would say vast, 85%, that's pretty vast. I'd say we are the vast majority of all student loan borrowers. So there's no good reason for us to be suffering in silence. So if you're new to the group, I'm very glad that you found us. But go to our website and do the stuff at the top of that page. And even more than that, if you really want to help, go to the daily actions on our website and do at least, I'd say, a couple weeks worth of our daily actions. It's phone calls, it's Twitter, it's simple stuff, guys. You can do 2 weeks of daily actions, at least the Twitter portion in a matter of a few minutes. So, okay, let me go to the top here. Hey, Terry Dodds with us tonight. What's up, Terry? Terry says last night's documentary was so eye-opening and put more light on this now toasted lending system. Good word, Terry, than ever before. Again, awesome job, Alan College. Thank you, Terry. Right. And by the way, if I think I already said, you can see it's called Lone Wolves, and you can see it on Peacock right now, streaming below. Vanji Unruh says, I'm disappointed to see any mention of returning bankruptcy from our senators and representatives in Twitter, though. Yeah, you're right, Vanji. In fact, here's where we're at with the Senate and the House. We talked to the Senate on Friday, and they sound, I won't say, I mean, verbatim what they said, but it doesn't matter, but they sounded reluctant, although they could be pushed. It's not up to them. It's up to the senators themselves. It's up to Senator Durbin, who, if you saw the documentary, basically promised and committed to getting that bill up for a vote by the end of the year. So they sounded pessimistic, honestly, on Friday, but they acknowledged that who knows, we still have 11, 12 days before the Senate's out of session. So literally anything can happen. And I sent a note to our key people in the House Judiciary, today around midday, and I have not yet heard from them. It's the House that I'm more worried about right now, guys, because the House, as I said, is out of session on Friday. They go home for the holidays, unless they extend the session. And so I'm more focused on the House right now. But I share your disappointment, Vanji. It is funny how the politicians run and hide from an issue that they don't want to touch. It is disgusting, frankly. And we saw that with senators like Patty Murray. I see it everywhere I go. Everywhere I go and confront a senator or a congressman, they do everything they can do to run away from us because this is a politically charged issue. Shouldn't be. It's a very clear and obvious fix. But the swamp is what the swamp is, and it's so I share in your disappointment, Vanji. But remember, guys, it's up to us. I don't like to put odds on things. I will say that whether these bills are passed by the end of the year or not depends on how hard we, the people, fight. And I say that often, but it's more true now than it's ever been, guys. If 1 million people were to overwhelm Washington, D.C. with phone calls tomorrow, it would happen. But guys, and I'm talking about the House here. We've got tomorrow. We've got Wednesday. And that's pretty much it. I mean, unless they extend their working session, but that's what we got, guys. And if it doesn't get through the House, then the Senate is going to be all for naught, really. I mean, regardless of what happens in the House, Senator Durbin owes us a vote. So even if it's a vote that that is all for naught, it's not for naught, because we, the people, deserve to know, after all these years of being betrayed by Congress, we deserve to know who's actually on our side and who is not. So this is a very big character test for Senator Durbin, quite frankly. Is he a man of his word, or is he not? This is a massive integrity test for not the Republicans. We know those guys are by and large creeps. Those guys are by and large swamp shills. They're bought and sold by the lending side. By and large, there are some very interesting exceptions to that, but this is a test of the Democratic Party, not the Republicans. The Democrats have the power right now to do the right thing. Will they do it, or will they betray us? They've promised to return bankruptcy to student loans since 2006. They betrayed us badly in 2008. And then in the lame duck session of 2010, they betrayed us again. I cannot even tell you all the incalculable harms that have been done to the citizens in the ensuing 12 years since that lame duck session in 2010. But, you know, that pales, all the harms that have been done as a result of them betraying us in 2010, that pales in comparison to the harm that is poised to be inflicted on us in the future, if when these loans are turned back on and bankruptcy remains gone from these loans. That harm is incalculable. We will be served up to the lending beast like lambs to the slaughter. So the pressure is on the Democrats, ladies and gentlemen. I hope they don't betray us. But hoping and praying is great, and I agree, everybody should be hopeful and prayerful. But making phone calls and jumping on Twitter and emails and every other thing that you can possibly think of that you, sitting there, out there in the world, can do to help us, like doing our daily actions. If you go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, daily actions, going to our website and doing those 5 things right now. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, tomorrow, and by the way, here's a quick little request. Tomorrow morning, we need some volunteers who haven't gotten through on C-SPAN in the past month. I'm looking for 5, 6, maybe a dozen volunteers who are willing to call into C-SPAN tomorrow morning between the hours of, I think, 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and call very strongly for Congress to pass S-2598 and HR 9110. If you're a morning person, or maybe even if you're not a morning person, we need you on this. I would love to see 3 to 4 callers get in on C-SPAN tomorrow. Decision makers and staffers and swamp people that we need to convince, they watch C-SPAN, believe it or not. So please, it's the least that you can do. Their phone numbers are, it's very easy to get onto C-SPAN, put it that way. So please, help with that. While I'm doing little announcement things, I would also say, guys, if you could please donate at this time, please donate. We can do what we do on very little money, but we cannot do it on nothing. So if you go to the website, I think I put the donate button back on. You can see it there, but let me just click it in here for you now. Right now, we about $80 in unforeseen expenses popped up the other day, related to our phone expense. But anyways, it was $80 that we weren't budgeting on. if you can donate, if like 4 people donated $20, it would be very helpful at this time, guys. Please donate. I suck at fundraising, if you haven't noticed, and I hate doing it. So please make the fundraising easier on me during this critical time, guys. So that's basically where we're at, guys. Ed McKinley, our fearless co-leader, Ed, says, got a live person at Dick Durbin's office. They were getting calls from us. Hate to say it, it needs to be more. Yeah, we've heard from people who got busy signals all day long from Durbin's, and that's a very good sign. So, and I heard from some other people who say they got through. I don't know if it was Durbin or someone else, but they go, yeah, I could tell the person answering the phone was getting kind of annoyed because they obviously had gotten a few calls like this in the past. I love that. Double down. I want to shut every important phone switchboard in Washington, D.C. down. I want to melt those fuckers. Pardon my French. It's important, guys. Hey, Jackie Abram says, I talked to Cicilline's office and left several messages with Nadler's office. That's awesome, Jackie. As I said, David Cicilline runs the subcommittee. He is key. Jerry Nadler is absolutely key right now in the House. Durbin's office was always messed up, and I tried over 20 times. Well, that's a good sign, Jackie. So maybe it wasn't just us calling. Maybe it was other people as well. But as Ed so rightly says, let's finish the job now. Hey, Vanessa Meyer says, negative amortization is considered predatory lending by the federal government. That's true. But typical income-driven repayment plans are all negatively amortizing. Yes, that's right. Vanessa, you point out just one of many characteristics of the federal student loan program that are hallmarks, like defining characteristics of a predatory lending system. Here's another one, by the way. The federal government makes a profit, not a loss, a profit on defaulted student loans. I don't think any other lender in the country, or even the world for that matter, on any other type of loan can claim to be, on average, making a profit on defaulted student loans. But the Department of Education does. And this has been true since we started this group 18 years ago. I could go on, but yes, good point, Vanessa. Hey, Anne-Marie Bennett says, Buck, please rescue us. I don't think we can count on Buck McKeon. If you're referring to the documentary, Anne, I think you are. In fact, Buck McKeon is, among everyone in Congress, most responsible for getting bankruptcy removed from student loans. It is Buck McKeon. I mean, the guy whose brain the idea of getting rid of bankruptcy actually tracks back to David Longenecker, and frankly, I think there's a couple other names in there that I might throw in, Sally Stroop and others, but who actually took credit for it in the film. So David Longenecker is the guy. It's really the members of Congress who those are the people who supposedly we can control. But I think it's very interesting, don't you, that it was a Department of Education bureaucrat from whose brain the notion of stripping bankruptcy completely from student loans came. That is very appropriate and expected, quite frankly. The Department of Education is not our friend, ladies and gentlemen. It's not now. It has never been. I don't care who's president. I don't care who is Secretary of Education. The Department of Education and its unelected, unappointed bureaucrats, people like Sally Stroop and Lynn Mahaffey and people in the past like Bill Hansen and others, they are not good people. They deserve a lion's share of the credit for not just bankruptcy, but any number of evil and vicious things that they have done, particularly to bankrupted student loan borrowers. It's disgusting what they do, but they have never had any desire or intention. They do not now have any desire or intention of canceling any loans, guys. It is only with the constitutionally enshrined right, the leverage of bankruptcy back on our side, that we will be able to kick the Department of Education, those evil swamp people there, into doing the right thing. All comes down to bankruptcy, guys. It just does. So, but I don't think we can look to Buck McKeon to rescue us. I was pleased that in the film he actually expressed remorse and maybe even some guilt about his role in this whole mess. Hey, Kelly Kessler says, got a live person at Durbin's and left a message on the others. Good for you. Anne says, I'll be calling tonight, leaving a voicemail, and tomorrow. Good for you, Anne Marie. Don't let up, guys. I'm telling you, you don't want to be the guy, a year and a half from now saying, man, I really should have gotten off my ass in those days in December of 2022 during that lame duck session of Congress when we actually had a chance to get real justice. Here we are a year or two later. The loans have turned back on. My life is a complete wreck. I'm running and hiding. We don't want that outcome, guys. You don't want that outcome. And right now, between now and Thursday, we can actually prevent that. After Thursday, assuming the House goes on recess for the holidays, it's back to the wilderness for us, guys. It's all that we've gotten done over the past 2 to 3 years is gone. It's up in smoke. Our bills expire, and then we face congressional gridlock again. For how many years? I don't know. 2 years, 4 years, 8, 12 years again? I don't know. We don't want to go there, guys. Hey, Debbie Srebnik Cirencioni says, exchange with Mike Rowe is on Chris Cuomo and just talked and canceling in student loans right now. Sorry, Deborah, but I don't give two shits about Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe is a shill. He is a tool for the lending goons. Mike Rowe isn't fighting for working people. Working people have student loans. We have truck drivers. We have welders and plumbers. And we have, you name it, nurses, probably people who shovel shit for a living, like plumber. Yeah, I guess that would be plumbers, right? We have all of those people in our group. People who go to trade schools are being wrecked by these student loans like everybody else. And Mike Rowe ought to be ashamed of himself for trying to stoke the fires of a fake cultural divide that actually doesn't exist. Over half of student loan borrowers are either Republican or independent. The worst hurt states are the entire South, MAGA Nation, whatever you want to call it. MAGA Nation is being hurt by these loans just as badly as everybody else. Working people who do the dirty jobs are being hurt by their loans just like everybody else. Mike Rowe is a Hollywood fake, I would say a tool, maybe even a paid tool. Who knows what kind of secret handshakes that guy has made. So no need to apologize, Deborah. It's just Mike Rowe is just a disgusting creature. And I'm sorry to have to say that because I actually liked the guy in the actual shows that he makes. If you Google, why is Mike Rowe shilling for the colleges? That's what Mike Rowe is doing. Anyways, I digress. Anybody who's fighting against us, against bankruptcy, against student loan cancellation, they're actually fighting for the colleges, whether they know it or not. Whether they are useful idiots, whether they are patsies, or whether they're doing it with full knowledge of what they're doing. They're fighting for the colleges. And the worst, most catastrophically failed lending scam in our nation's history. So, hey, Michael Cheney's with us tonight. Speaking of truck drivers, Michael Cheney says, called and did the daily actions, got a live people on Pelosi, Durbin, and Mike Carey. Good for you, Michael. So glad to hear that. And Michael also volunteers that he was also a machinist and a foundry guy. Right. So yeah, guys. Remember, guys, no matter what happens with Congress, we got this. we are way stronger than this lending system. And the lending people are way more afraid of us than we should be of them. You know, this is a cheesy, unconstitutional rat trap of a lending scam, and the scam is over. So I'm not going to forecast what we will do as a group if we are unsuccessful in getting our bills passed. I'm only focused on the positive right now. There is a legitimate chance that we can finally get bankruptcy done by the end of this year, and that's my laser focus. I'm not even going to talk about the future, but suffice it to say, guys, we are the in the final analysis, we are the lending system. We control the lending system. We hold the gold. And now is the time to be strong. If you're not strong now, you're probably going to have to be much, much, much stronger soon. So I think that's all I'm going to say about the future. Right now, my eye is on the prize. And the prize is S2598 and HR 9110 and getting this legislation through. Getting the House to do it by Thursday and getting the Senate to do it by the 21st and getting the president to sign it by December 31st. So that's where my head is, and I hope yours is there as well. Don't expect anybody else is going to pull your weight, guys. That's never happened on this group. Not ever has it ever happened. Nobody else can pull your weight. Only you can pull your weight. So if student loans are important to you guys, at a minimum, you'll go to our website, studentloanjustice.org, and do those 5 or so things that we ask you to do, and do the daily actions. I would say do a month worth of our daily actions. It will all help. It's the most efficient, most effective use of your time at this very critical time. So, okay, guys, I hope you're pleased. I hope you like the film. I hope a gajillion people see it between now and tomorrow and maybe Wednesday. I hope a gajillion people see it just at any point, quite frankly. Everybody needs to understand the injustice that we're faced with. And I think this film does a pretty good job. And my hat's off to Blake, by the way, Blake Zeff, the filmmaker who we've been working with for, oh my goodness gracious, since 2015, actually, on this film. So 7 years now. But I will be back whenever is appropriate. Wednesday will be my next scheduled live stream, but I have a feeling I'll be jumping in with, with stuff as stuff happens. And stuff is happening quickly on this issue, guys, right now. So stay tuned, keep fighting, and keep in touch, because we need you right now. And you need us. And you need everyone to help. And everybody with student loans needs to be helping us. And I think if even 10% were, I think we would see victory. So spread the word about this group, about the film, about our legislation more than anything. That's 2598, HR 9110. Make those calls. I'll see you soon. Let's make this happen, guys. Good luck. Godspeed to you. And God bless.